Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna
Krishna
Krishnaya Bhutale
Bhutale
Srimate
Shrimate
Bhakti
Bhakti Vedanta Aminiti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Bhakti Krishna
Nirvishesha Shunyavadi
Pashyamini
Jai Shri
Jai
Krishna
Shri Krishna
Chaitanya Prabhu
Chaitanya
Nityananda
Prabhupada
Shri Advaita
Advaita
Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta
Vrinda
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Rama Rama Ram Rama Hare Hare.
Yes. Anyone would like to share what we discussed in our last session? Anyone remembers?
I think we discussed a lot of things, but the key highlights, Prabhuji, that we learned through the 31 and 32 verse of chapter 6 is basically that we should be always thinking about Krishna. And if we are fully absorbed in Krishna and not hankering around, I think we are on the path to get the transcendental happiness and serving Krishna, always absorbed in his thoughts, doing things to serve him, serve his devotees, very centered only about how I can help my fellow devotees to remember and recollect and rebuild their relationship with Krishna. If an individual is if a devotee is always involved and absorbed in that, they are bound to get the transcendental happiness with that endeavor.
Yes. Anyone else would like to add anything? Alright. So we were discussing the sixth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, verse number 31 and 32. We discussed in which Krishna he was mentioning about the symptom of a person who realizes the super soul, who sees the Paramatma inside the heart. So basically, if we see, Krishna was mentioning about the Ashtanga Yoga. He was explaining about Ashtanga Yoga in this sixth chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Ashtanga Yoga means eightfold practices of yoga, mystic yoga. So that Krishna was explaining over here. So at the end, the result or the intent to perform this yoga is to realize Krishna or the super soul who is situated in our heart as a Paramatma. To see how Krishna is situated in our heart as a Paramatma, that is the entire intent of performing this Ashtanga Yoga. Now, and Krishna explained what will be the symptoms and all that. Krishna was explaining that he see equally all the beings. He sees equally all the beings. This is what Krishna was explaining over here. Now moving to verse number 33rd. Verse number 33rd will take today. After hearing the entire this Ashtanga Yoga, what is Arjuna's reaction to it? This is what Arjuna is going to mention over here. What is Arjuna's reaction after hearing entire process of Ashtanga Yoga? That is what we are going to discuss today. So all of you please join in chanting this shloka. Arjuna Vacha
Arjuna Vacha
Yoyam Yogastavaya Prokta Samyena Madhusudana
Madhusudanam
Atasya न पश्यामि संचलत्वत् स्थितं स्थिरम्. Yes. Anyone would like to chant this shloka?
Arjuna Vacha Jaham Jagastaya Prapta Sammina Madhusudana Ittasahang na Pasami Chanchalatat Sitting Stiram.
Sorry, I forgot to share the screen.
that was helpful to remind everyone to open the book. So we were doing that only.
Yeah, I could understand whoever was chanting having. So hope now it is visible. So if you would like to chant Shloka, they can please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Arjuna Vacha Yoyam Yogastvaya Prokta Samayena Madhusudan Etasayam Na Pashyami Chanchalatuvad Sthithim Sthiram.
Wonderful. Anyone else? Alright. Read the translation. Arjuna said, O Madhusudana, the system of yoga which you have summarized appears impractical and undurable to me. For the mind is restless and unsteady. So here Arjuna is addressing Krishna as Madhusudana. So who was a Madhu? Madhu was a demon.
Demon.
Which demon? Anyone remember? Anyone knows Madhu? Alright. So there were two demons by name Madhu and Kaitaba. So these two demons, they came out from the ear of Garbhodakashai Vishnu. Krishna, we heard in the last class how Krishna, he expand himself and he expand himself into Garbhodakashai Vishnu, who is residing on this ocean of Garbhodaka ocean, and from whom actually this entire universe is created. How? From Garbhodakashai Vishnu navel, Lord Brahma comes and Lord Brahma starts creating the entire creation. So this Madhu, because Krishna, he is lying down on that Garbhodaka ocean on Anant Shesh, he is in Yoga Nidra. So from the ears of Vishnu came two demons by name Madhu and Kaitaba. And these two demons, what they did, they stole the Vedas from the Brahma. They stole the Vedas from the Brahma. So now, after stealing that, they have become very powerful, because in the Vedas everything is there and Brahma has no clue how to kill them, and also he is not having any clue how to create the creation. So Brahma is very disturbed. So later on, Vishnu, he fought with these two demons, and these demons has a benediction. They perform tapasya and attained benediction. What is that benediction? The benediction was, they have a benediction of Ichha Mrityu. Means whenever they desire, then only they can die. Otherwise they will not die. So now Vishnu, he fought years, he fought with these demons, and these demons, they become so tired fighting with Vishnu, because Vishnu is so powerful that these demons have no clue what to do. As per Devi Bhagavata, Lord Vishnu, because they were considering Mother Durga as their mother, so Lord Vishnu, requested Mother Durga and asked these demons, requested her that these demons now should desire their death. So like that, with the help of Mother Durga, Lord Vishnu, because this Mother Durga is none other than sister of Lord Vishnu, so like that, this demon was killed. Madhu and Kaitaba was killed. So Arjuna is addressing Krishna as Madhusudana, O killer of demon Madhu. You have killed Madhu. Now Arjuna is mentioning the system of yoga, the Ashtanga yoga, what you have described, appears very impractical and undurable. Both. It is not practical and it is undurable to me, for mind is restless and unsteady. We'll study the purport and then we'll understand it. The system of mysticism described by Lord Krishna to Arjuna, beginning with the words Socha Deshi and ending with Yogi Pramaha, is here being rejected by Arjuna out of a feeling of inability. It is not possible for an ordinary man, to leave home and go to secluded place in the mountains or the jungles to practice yoga in this age of Kali. The present age is characterized by a bitter struggle for life of short duration. People are not serious about self-realization even by simple practical means, what to speak of difficult yoga system, which regulates the mode of living and the manner of sitting, the selection of place, and detachment of mind from the material entanglements. As a practical man, Arjuna thought it was impossible to follow this system of yoga, even though he was favorably endowed in many ways. He belonged to royal family and was highly elevated in the terms of numerous qualities. He was a great warrior, he had a great longevity, and above all, he was the most intimate friend of Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. 5,000 years ago, Arjuna had much better facility than we do now. Yet he refused to accept this system of yoga. In fact, we do not find any record in the history of practicing it at any time. Therefore, this system must be considered generally impossible in this age of Kali. Of course, it may be possible for some very few rare men, but for the people in general, it is impossible proposal. If this were so 5,000 years ago, then what of the present age? Those who are imitating this yoga system in different so-called schools and societies, although complacent, are certainly wasting their time. They are completely ignorance of desire. So here, just to summarize what Krishna has explained as a Ashtanga Yoga means, a person should go to secluded place or a sacred place, a place where hardly people visit, free from all kind of rush, just like mountains, forests, such places a person should go, leaving aside everything. He should go there, he should spread out a skin of tiger or a deer and sit not too high, not too low, on a mid-level platform, and he should close his half eyes and meditate upon not completely closed, not completely closed or not fully open, but half closed. It's just seeing the tip of the nose. And with that, he is meditating upon that Supreme Personality of Godhead who is situated in our heart as a Paramatma. So he is meditating upon that. And with that meditation, first what he does, Yama Niyama, he follows, and there are certain don'ts. What are the don'ts? He has to practice celibacy. He should refrain his senses from sense gratification. He should practice certain postures, Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama. He should have a control over his inhale and exhale. Yama, Niyama, Pranayama, Pratyahara. Also, he should free from all kind of attachment. He should detach himself completely, not considering about his family, his belongings, nothing. He should be free from all such things. And then he should completely dharana. He is concentrating his mind upon that Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he is meditating. He is then meditating. He is doing dhyana. And when he sees that Supreme Personality of Godhead supersoul in his life, that is the desired goal of this Ashtanga Yoga. Desired goal of Ashtanga Yoga is not to have a fit body. That is by default you will get. But desired goal of Ashtanga Yoga is to see Krishna who is situated in our heart as a Paramatma. That is the desired goal of Ashtanga Yoga. Now, if we see in this dynasty of Kauravas, great Kshatriyas were there who have practiced this method of Ashtanga Yoga. Even Bharat Maharaj also has practiced this Ashtanga Yoga. But here Arjuna is rejecting this. How? By saying it to be impractical. Because mind is restless and unsteady. If we see the qualification, just a glimpse of qualification what Arjuna had. First, Arjuna is dearmost friend of Lord Krishna, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the dearmost friend of Lord Krishna. Second, he is a great warrior, very qualified warrior. With the power of his mantra, he can invoke celestial weapons like Brahmastra. Such is the power of this Arjuna, who has performed great austerities to acquire this great weapons, celestial weapons. He is born in a royal family where all kind of luxury, all kind of facility, everything is available. Everything is there. Everything is there. He is born with very high qualities. Just like we heard in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita that he is honest, he is compassionate. All such quality he has been endowed with. He is not attached also, he is very detached person. He was ready to leave the entire battlefield and go into the forest. Such person is telling that it is not possible for me to practice this. What to speak of people like us? And he heard Bhagavad Gita and understood Bhagavad Gita in just 40 to 45 minutes. Whereas we, even one life, we try to read Bhagavad Gita every day, hardly we will understand. Such person is mentioning this process of Ashtanga Yoga to be impractical. What to speak of people in general in this present age? For them, it is not possible. We cannot leave our families, we cannot leave our profession. Even though people may leave family, they cannot leave their profession. There are a lot of scientists, they don't have family, or they hardly visit their family. They have renounced, they have left their family, but they could not leave their profession. So we cannot do all these things. We cannot go to the forest, to the mountains. We cannot control our hunger, our thirst. All these things we cannot control. So what hope we have in this present age? We hardly have any. We hardly have any. This is not at all possible. In contrast, what Arjuna is further saying that we will Sanchalam hi mana Krishna pramathi balavat dhradam tasyaham nigraham manye vayar eva sutushkram. Translation: for the mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong, O Krishna. To subdue it seems to me more difficult than controlling the wind. Read the purport, then we'll understand more in detail. In mind is so strong and obstinate that it sometimes overcomes the intelligence. Although mind is supposed to be subservient to the intelligence, for a man in the practical world who has to fight so many opposing elements, it is certainly very difficult to control the mind. Artificially, one may establish a mental equilibrium toward both friend and enemy, but ultimately, no worldly man can do so, for this is more difficult than controlling the raging wind. In the Vedic literature, it says the individual is the passenger in the car of the material body, and the intelligence is the driver, mind is the driving instrument, and the senses are the horses. Self is thus enjoyer or the sufferer in the association of the mind and senses. So it is understood by great thinkers. Intelligence is supposed to direct the mind, but the mind is so strong and obstinate that it often overcomes even one's own intelligence. Such a strong mind is supposed to be controlled by practice of yoga, but such practice is never practical for worldly person like Arjuna. And what can we say of modern man? The simile used here is appropriate. One cannot capture the blowing wind, and it is even more difficult to capture the turbulent mind. The easiest way to control the mind, as suggested by Lord Chaitanya, is Hare Krishna, the great mantra for deliverance in all humility. The method prescribed is Save Manah Krishna Padarvindo. One must engage one's mind fully in Krishna, only then will there remain no other engagements agitate mind. So very interesting thing here in these two verses collectively we see and understand. So just like if we see, suppose hurricane is there or some thunderstorm is there, can you control that thunderstorm or hurricane? No, it is not possible. We cannot control. Same way, but here Arjuna is mentioning, I can control the wind. That much powerful I am, that I can control the wind, but I cannot control this mind, because this mind is so restless, running here, there. Even science says in a day we do get 60,000 thoughts in a day. On an average, a human being gets 60,000 thoughts. And out of 60,000 thoughts, few thoughts we do process. Our mind is so restless, is hankering after a lot of things, get agitate, seeing some sense object. Like that is the condition of our mind. That's why if we see how Bharat Maharaj, he was practicing Ashtanga Yoga, he left his family, beautiful family, kingdom, had a very beautiful wife, everything he left and went into the forest to practice this Ashtanga Yoga. And he could attain, he was at the urge of attaining perfection, at the urge of attaining perfection. But what happened? At the end, he got attached to a deer. He got attached to a deer. And when his mind got attached to the deer, while dying, he had a thought of deer. Rather than having a thought of that Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, he had a thought of that deer and he died, gave up his life, and in the next life he became the deer. So if we see Krishna in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he is mentioning Anta kale cha mameva smrana mukta kalevra. So at the end of our life, the main goal or objective of this human form of life is what? Is to give or to prepare ourselves in such a way that when we die, we remember that Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. But now here someone may say, oh, it is so easy. What is so difficult? When I am dying, I'll just think of Krishna. I know Krishna, how he looks. I just remember him. But no, it is not like that. When we die, what happens? When we are dying, we don't have control over our own self. We cannot think what we want to think. Not possible. So what happened at the moment when we are dying? So whatever is there in our subconscious mind, that reflects in front of us. All the things will manifest in front of us when we are leaving the body or when we are dying. So whatever we have done or whatever attachments we have developed during this our life, sometimes it happens we had some sweet memories, something that we like or something that we don't like, all such things, there are certain impression in our subconscious mind. So whatever is there in our subconscious mind, those things will come in front of us like a movie. You will not get a chance to remember Krishna if you have not served Krishna, or if you have not chanted his holy name, or if you have not done anything in his service, something which is related to Krishna. If you have not developed that attachment to Krishna, it will not come. Krishna will not come. So what will happen? You will die remembering those things. Suppose somebody is very attached to his house, so he will die remembering his house. If somebody is so attached to his dog, he will die remembering that dog. So next birth, he will take a birth as a dog or something like that. Just like Bharat Maharaj, he took birth as a deer. So this mind is very difficult to conquer, very, very tough. Here also in the Vedas, example is given, analogy is given, just like there is a vehicle is there, chariot is there. Earlier also I gave this example. Chariot is there. That chariot is what? This human form of life, this human body is that chariot. And on that chariot, you are also sitting as a passenger or as a main, the person who gives direction. So who you are? You are the spirit soul, Atma. You are sitting over that chariot as a Atma, as a main passenger. Just like you book a Uber drive. So you give the direction to the driver. You are the one, you being the passenger, you direct the driver. I want to go this so and so place. Same way, you are that spirit soul who is sitting over the chariot. And driver is what? Driver is intelligence, is our intelligence. And driver is controlling those horses. There are 5 horses representing 5 senses. What are the 5 senses? Anyone?
Sight by the eyes, nose, smell, ear, what we hear, and skin, what we touch.
Fifth one.
Eyes,
Anyone
nose,
tongue,
tongue. Yes.
Yeah.
Tongue you forgot.
Yes, the main one, the main cause of all the sins.
Correct. Is tongue. So these five senses are those five horses, and the intelligence which use that rope or the reins to control these five senses or five horses is that mind. If that rope is not strong enough, you cannot control the horses. So that is compared to the mind. To control those horses, five horses, you need that rope or that reins that driver is holding. So that is compared to the. So yes, one by one, chariot is compared.
Hari Prabhuji, you broke up. We could not hear you. Can you repeat the question?
So I'll ask everyone one by one. So Swati ji, chariot is representing our. I am audible.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji. It is our body.
Okay. And that ropes is representing our Smita ji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Did you hear? Ropes is presenting our.
The voice was breaking in between, तो मुझे सुनाई नहीं दिया वो इतना clearly.
Okay. So anything else you remember? Okay. No worries. So Surinder ji, Hare Krishna. Surinder ji. Okay, Shubhang. Yes. Shubhankar ji, so rope represents what?
Rope is the
Rope represents. Yes, Payal ji, Hare Krishna. Are you there? You are muted, you are not audible. Payal ji, are you there? So rope represent what? Anyone else?
Mind.
Okay. And who is the passenger?
Our spirit soul.
And who is the driver?
Intelligence.
That is it. Wonderful. So what happens when these senses are not in control, or the mind who is holding these senses, that rope is not under the control of the intelligence, or the driver is not strong enough to hold these five strong horses with the rope. So what will happen? You want to go right, it may take you to the left. So like that, you will get lost. Get lost. Get lost. Same way, this human form of life we have got to attain certain goal. We have a certain goal in our life. But our mind is so restless. We cannot meditate, or we cannot control it so easily. So what is the method prescribed here? Is to engage our mind in the service of Krishna, in remembering Krishna by chanting his holy name Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. By doing so, we can have a control over our mind. Otherwise, Arjuna is mentioning over here, it is very, very tough. Just like Bharat Maharaj, how he got attracted or attached to the deer. Same way, this mind is very, very tough to control. Or if mind is not controlled, you cannot perform this Ashtanga Yoga. The preliminary requirement to perform this Ashtanga Yoga is to have control over the mind. This is very important. You can control over the mind. So, in the Kali Yuga, what is the prescribed method to control over the mind? By chanting this mantra, Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Constantly chanting and hearing. That is what happened with Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj, when he came to know that he is having only 7 days remaining with him, only for 7 days he is alive. So immediately he left everything and he went to the sages, approached the sages. He approached the sages, inquiring all of them, what should I do? I have only 7 days. So somebody is recommending you perform this Ashtanga Yoga, you do this, you do that. But all these things seems impractical to him. Because to perform all these things, you have a controlled mind. You should have a controlled mind. Whereas when Sukdev Goswami came, he asked, inquired the same question with the Sukdev Goswami, and he said, "O Rajan, what to speak of 7 days? You can attain perfection within a 1 muhurta of 48 minutes. You can attain the perfection. How? By simply thinking of Krishna." So what he did? He started asking various questions, and Sukdev Goswami is explaining all those questions. He is elaborating all those questions, and with rapt attention he is hearing. Without eating, or without sleeping, without drinking water, he is constantly hearing, absorbed in hearing about Krishna. With that, he is simply meditating upon that Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So hearing is very, 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 very important. The more we hear about Krishna, the more you will see our mind will be under our control, because Krishna is known as owner of the senses, and the controller of the senses is known as Rishikesha. He has that ability to control over the senses. So when we hear of him with rapt attention, we can have a mind who is controlled with us. Our mind will, oh, I want to eat this, I want to eat that, I want to go there, I want to go here, I want to see this, I want to do this. Like that, our mind will be taking us for a ride. Day after day, day after day. Every day, something this, something that, not satisfied. Our mind will be taking like that for a ride. And like this, our human form of life will get wasted. Precious human form of life or time will get wasted, and with that we'll lose the opportunity. Whereas we should train our intelligence, we should train the driver how to hold those ropes strongly. We should train the driver how? By hearing about Krishna. When our intelligence is aligned with the scriptures, with Krishna, with Krishna's instruction, it is very easy to control over the mind. If our driver is not strong enough, cannot control the chariot, cannot control 5 horses. Driver has to be very strong. Driver has to be very strong. For that, what is the solution? The solution is to hear about Krishna. So many times we have to make choices in our life. You could have an option of going to the party as it is weekend, going out for the dinner, for the party, for something this or something that, but you chose to hear about Krishna. So when we choose Krishna, so what happens? It's as simple as that. Krishna will choose. So losing this opportunity to hear about Krishna is a great loss. A great loss for the person. He will lose the opportunity of going back to Godhead. So whatever situation it may be, even though you are sick, something is happening, this, that, at least if you are sick, having high fever, this, that, whatsoever it may be, simply lie down, or at least you can hear about Krishna, or not about Krishna, at least Hare Krishna mantra can be going on. At least that is falling into your ears. You are hearing that. So that is something which is very, very important for all of us. In all the circumstances, try to hear about Krishna more and more. We should not lose even a minute sitting idly. That is what is the best utilization of time. 1 minute you are getting, do something, or you only chant and hear Krishna's name. Something like that. We'll read the next verse quickly. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Samshayam Mahabaho Manodrupnihim Chalam Abhyasena tu Kaunteya Vairagyena Jagryate. The Blessed Lord said, O mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by constant practice and by detachment. So Krishna is affirming what Arjuna has said. What he is affirming? He is affirming that undoubtedly, assumption. Samshya means I am having doubt. Assumption, there is no doubt that it is very difficult to control the mind, to curb the restless mind. But at the same time, Krishna is mentioning it is possible. How? Abhyasena tu Kaunteya, with the constant practice and by detachment. The constant practice and detachment, one can control over the mind. That is very much possible. Krishna is making that statement. Let us read the purport and understand it. The difficulty of controlling the obstinate mind, as expressed by Arjuna, is accepted by the personality of Godhead. But at the same time, he suggests that by practice and detachment, it is possible. What is that practice? In the present age, no one can observe strict rules and regulations, such as placing oneself in a sacred place, focusing the mind on the super soul, restraining the mind and the senses, observing celibacy, remaining alone, etc. By practice of Krishna consciousness, however, one engages in 9 types of devotional service to the Lord. The first and foremost of such devotional engagement is hearing about Krishna. This is a very powerful transcendental method for purging the mind of all misgivings. The more one hears about Krishna, the more one becomes enlightened and detached from everything that draws the mind away from Krishna. By detaching the mind from activities not devoted to the Lord, one can very easily learn Vairagya. So now one might think that Vairagya or detachment is very difficult. But no, it is not very difficult. What we do understand by Vairagya? Vairagya means renouncing or developing detachment towards the thing which has no relationship with Krishna. Or, in other words, when a person develops maturity to relate everything in connection with Krishna, is also Vairagya. Just like this system is there, laptop is there, I am utilizing this technology in spreading Krishna's words, Krishna's message to the people around the world. So this is what? This is Vairagya. We are utilizing money in spreading Krishna consciousness by building huge temple which attracts thousands of people every day, and they get opportunity to relate and connect with Krishna. That is Vairagya. That money is engaged in Krishna's service. A person is having family and taking that responsibility of the family, fulfilling all their needs, also helping them out to develop attachment for Krishna, is also Vairagya. So Vairagya means developing a detachment from the things which has no relationship with Krishna. Suppose sense gratification and devotion cannot go hand in hand. Sense gratification is what? I want to eat something very nice, but that eating has no relationship with Krishna. It's not Krishna's prasadam. It is whatever I like to eat without offering it to Krishna. That is gratification of the sense. That is gratification of the senses. Or a person who is too greedy, day and night he is engaged in earning money, forgetting everything, so that he can enjoy, he can drink nicely, all these things he can do. That is sense gratification. A person like that things which are temporary in nature or which are performed to satisfy our senses, just like, oh, let me go and watch movie today. That is gratification of the senses. Let me hear more Gramya Katha. Gramya Katha means what is going in this family, in that family, in their family. All these things, gossiping about others, all this is Gramya Katha. When we do that, this is sense gratification. This destroys our bhakti. Let me go here, there, just to hear something very nice, but it has no relationship with Krishna. Let me go and watch movie. Let me go and eat something which is not Krishna's prasadam. All this is sense gratification. When we do that, we fall down. So we should develop detachment to such things. Further, Vairagya means detachment from matter and engagement of the mind in spirit. Impersonal spiritual detachment is more difficult than attaching the mind to the activities of Krishna. This is practical because by hearing about Krishna, one becomes automatically attached to the Supreme Spirit. So, rather what we should do, we should bring a positive attachment. How? By bringing Krishna as the center of our life. That is what we should do. This attachment is called Pareshanubhuti. This attachment is called Pareshanubhuti. Anubhuti means experience. What kind of experience? Experience of satisfaction. When you experience that satisfaction, you experience joy, you experience peace, you experience happiness. That is possible when you are in touch with Krishna. It is just like the feeling of satisfaction a hungry man has for every morsel of food he eats. Just like a hungry person, he eats food. So when he eats food, what happens? He feels satisfied. His hunger is satisfied. Similarly, by discharging of devotional service, one feels transcendental satisfaction as the mind becomes detached from material objectives. It's something like curing a disease by expert treatment and appropriate diet. Hearing of transcendental activities of Krishna is therefore expert treatment for the mad mind, and eating food offered to Krishna is appropriate diet for suffering patient. This treatment is the process of Krishna consciousness. So here Krishna, why he is giving stress on developing detachment. Constant practice and detachment is telling it is very much possible. Abhyasena tu kaunte, vairagyena dhyayate. Two things. Vairagya means detachment. Abhyasa means constant practice. So with the constant practice means you have to put conscious effort. You have to put conscious efforts. Just like some athlete is there. He does practice. Suppose he is running marathon. So each lap, he is very conscious that each lap I have to cover in this many seconds or this many minutes. Right? Constantly he is putting efforts, that is practice, to make better version of himself. Same way, bhakti means what? We have to put constant efforts. How? Simply train ourselves in hearing about Krishna more and more and more. That is the constant effort one is required to perform. Then his mind will be under the control. And detachment from the things which are not helping us make advancement in Krishna consciousness. These two things are required. These two things are required. So it is like, in simple words, if we try to understand, if you ignite a fire, if you are constantly putting water into the fire, is it possible to ignite or sustain that fire? No, it is not possible. Same way, if we are practicing, main goal of human life is what? To attain spiritual perfection or to make advancement spiritually. To make spiritual advancement, that is the main purpose of this human form of life. Now, if we want to engage our senses in sense gratification, at the same time want to make a spiritual advancement, or fulfill the goal of human life, it cannot go hand in hand. Just like if you constantly put water into the fire, it will not take you anywhere. Same way, if we keep enjoying our senses, also practicing Krishna consciousness or practicing yoga, that cannot help. So we have to put conscious effort in developing detachment, things which are not favorable to our Krishna consciousness, and that is one of the principle of surrender. And it is possible by constant practice. By doing that, only we can develop attachment to Krishna. We can develop attachment to Krishna, and we can control our mind. Once mind is controlled, you can experience that peace, that joy, that happiness, that satisfaction within your heart. So with this, we'll close here. Anyone has any question or anything to share or ask, please feel free to share or ask. Any questions? Okay. So we'll end here. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki
जय
Shri ki
जय
जय हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी
Hare